to pray. I just somehow get this notion in Jesus' prayer, he was doing more listening than he was speaking. In your secluded place, is it so still? And are you comfortable enough with the stillness and the quiet to say, Lord, yes, I can listen to you. Did the prelude so call you to worship that whether it's an anthem, the children's time, the giving of our gifts, tithes and offering, a hymn or what, that it can be a still time? Lord, I'm listening. I'm listening. Jesus did that, so it must be okay. There was a tribe in Africa that had been enlisted to help some explorers. And the first day they got up at daybreak and they took off at a fast pace. And the second day after they camped, they got up and took off at a third pace. This fast pace. The third day they got up and the tribesmen would not move. And the explorer says, we must move, we must move. We've got to get going. We've got to go. And the person that represented the tribe that was moving them said, we stay here and wait. Because we have traveled so fast, our souls and spirits need to catch up with our bodies. How fast is your life traveling? Is your physical life of traveling so fast that you need to stop so your spirit can catch up? If you're always drained, tired, emotionally empty, mentally overwhelmed, your body's traveling faster than your spirit, and you need to stop and let your spirit and soul catch up with your body. Now, I grant you I'm telling you this as a hypocrite, okay? I'll set you free, choir. But it's what we need to do. It is physically killing us, and spiritually it's robbing us of what God wants to be in our lives, because we've got time to do, but we don't have time to be, and we need to be so that we're able to do. And now they're out looking for Jesus rather than doing what Jesus did. You see, when we're called by the prelude into listening to God, we'll get instruction for God for our lives. Mother Teresa said that God is rarely found in the midst of noise and restlessness. Instead, God is a friend of silence. Now, I don't know how much Mother Teresa is an authority. I've always respected her. God is a God of silence. Be still and know the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. That's what the psalmist told us to do anyway. And he also said, be still and know that I am God. Are we running too fast in too many directions, without focus, without purpose, and missing fulfillment, and we're frustrated and we feel like life is getting away from us? Sometimes I look back in my life and I say, boy, I wish I knew what I knew and I could do it over. We all do that, don't we? And every morning when I get up, I've got a place of things that I need to do. And I've got this little card. And it says, this is the day to do it over. Now, what that tells me is I can do it better today than I did it yesterday. And I can't change yesterday, but I can change today. And I can find the place of my solitude, my exclusion, in the way that Jesus did from the whole world, and be with God and say, God, speak to me because I'm listening. I'm learning to shut it down. to shut it down and be right in the midst of it. It doesn't just happen. There was a story that goes about a pastor that had a parishioner to tell him on Sunday, I tried to get a hold of you all day yesterday and I couldn't get you. And the pastor said, it was the day off. And the parishioner said, oh, a day off? But I needed you. Well, you know the devil never takes a day off, explained the member in a holier-than-thou indignation. And the minister replied, that's right. And if I don't take a day off, I'll act like him. Now, isn't that true about all of us? When are you the grouchiest? Is when you're the tiredest. But you know what else? When are you the most vulnerable? When you're too tired to think about it and you just make a decision. There's a whole process of propaganda and salesmanship in America that if you can just get worn down, you can be talked into anything. We're running so fast, and our minds are so tired and so overloaded that we stopped thinking and we just respond. And it's where in life we make mistakes. Now, Jesus didn't give up his ministry or his call. He said, let's go somewhere else. Sometimes there's a moving on. Sometimes there are people that will come to you with needs and problems and situations, and they'll wear you out. Sharon has an individual that for a long time, the first phone call, the first text, the first email, the first everything was this same person. And she looked at it and evaluated it, and she asked me, and I said, well, what I see is nothing's changed in a year. All that you're doing is giving the attention this person wants, so they don't need anything else, but they're still broken and you're frustrated because you're wore out with it. You need to move on. You need to move on. You and I sometimes need people in our lives to challenge us to move on and to be able to move from activity that is endless to stillness in a secluded place. It's necessary. It's vital. It's essential. Now, Jesus went on in the synagogues out throughout Galilee preaching and casting out demons. He didn't stop, but he needed to rest. And rest is more than a vacation or a holiday. Because when those things are over, we're glad to get back to home and have normalcy, right? You know, you go through all of December, from Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas and New Year's, and after New Year's is over and the Christmas stuff's put up, it's like, whew, things are back to normal. It feels good. Now, we forget about it by next year. It's like childbirth, you know, a mother forgets the pain or they'd only ever have one child. But we realize that things that are even good can wear us out. In church, one of the things that I know is in my life, and I believe it's a cultural problem, is that we're too tired. We get out of bed tired because we don't know how to turn our mind off. We don't know how to